had talked a little bit about career and technical education.
Yeah.
And we had visited earlier about the importance of career and tech ed in terms of a person's overall development in life.
Right.
What are your thoughts regarding health science and technical education programming?
I love it. I really do. And so, just to be perfectly honest, when in my days back in the 80s, career and vocational tech ed, that was sort of like, well, go take a shop class, right? And it was typically considered something like, well, do that if you can't do anything else, but you really want to go to college. That's where the money is, you know. And I bought that hook, line, and sinker. I mean, that was instilled in me, like, you got to get an education. You got to get an education. I obviously took that to the nth degree and got a PhD. But here's what's so interesting about, like, the things that you've mentioned, like, you know, medical and career, and, you know, you think about like welding and nursing and HVAC and all those trades that are represented. Siri is never going to take those jobs. AI is never going to come fix my radiator. AI is never going to be able to work on my HVAC. AI is never going to be able to take my blood pressure. You need a trained live human being in person to do that. And so there's this idea that those fields are not going to be readily replaced by artificial intelligence. B, there is not only are those jobs, there's some security, but they pay well, you know, and you're not talking about like a minimum wage job. You're talking about strong, solid salaries that you can get without spending $80,000 on a 4-year traditional degree. You go for, you know, anything from a 5-week to a 2-year training program. You're out of the gate. The job is waiting for you, and you're making $60,000, $70,000. Like, goodness gracious, man! It's like it's hard to beat that.
And I think as a basic approach to education, the career tech ed, whether it's in health sciences or technical education programming, here at Eastern New Mexico University Roswell, we have various health science programs. We have the medical assisting, we have registered nursing, we have the certified nurse assistant program. We also have the respiratory therapy, the occupational therapy assistant, and then we have the EMS program that goes from EMT basic to paramedic. And that's on the health science side. And then on the technical education side, we have welding, automotive, aviation maintenance. We have the HVAC work. And then we also have the CDL training that's on our workforce development. And I just think if people can pick up one of those skills early on, then they can build from there.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be the end of the education, but it can definitely be a start and then something to fall back on if they want to pursue other opportunities.
Oh, absolutely. And I would even argue that not just as a, you know, it's not just a great early career launch, right? Because it's going to launch you into a great salary and income with great potential for the future. But, you know, we were touring the campus and you were showing me the facilities and the training. And I was even thinking, like, I'm an empty nester now. Man, I would love to go back and learn auto mechanics. That was always like a pipe dream I had, but I didn't want to tell anybody because, like, oh, no, I'm supposed to get a 4-year degree. So even at my age, you know, maybe I could go back and get like a HVAC or welding or learn how to work on a car. And, you know, our kids are launched. And like I said, we're empty nesters. And what a great time to reinvent myself, you know, and pick up a new trade.
Well, enrollment's still open. Classes start Monday. So
I'll be sure to, step one, fill out the financial aid form.
yeah, we can see where that ends up.
Yeah.
But no, we appreciate you coming to Chavez County, and we appreciate you coming to our campus. Our focus is obviously working to increase our mill levy here in the county. We're going to be looking at bringing people to campus to explain why we're seeking this increase. It's going to be directed toward career and technical education programming. Yeah. One of the programs we're looking at is a physical therapy assistance program. Another possibility is a diesel program.
Yeah.
The other part to this that you and I haven't really talked about too much is when I was growing up, and this was in Oklahoma, there was a separate branch of state government, and it's still there. Used to be called VOTEC, and now it's called Career and Technical Education. And so in Oklahoma, there are career tech centers, or VOTEC centers, if you will, that service multiple school districts. And those students, starting in 9th grade in high school, can go to that VOTEC center depending on the program that they're wanting to pursue. And they can spend a half a day at the high school completing their high school graduation requirements, and then they spend the other half of a day at the career tech ed vocational training centers, and they can get the skill sets that they need in order to do a variety of things. And one of the programs that we looked at today was the aviation maintenance program. And that was one of the ones, and still is, that's available in that system in Oklahoma, where somebody can start in 9th grade and they'll do basically 4 half years of study. And that's like our 2-year program here. And as we learned, they can get out of that program here, and with the maintenance repair organizations here at the Roswell Air Center, they're able to go out and work and have a great wage and be able to support their family.
Yeah.
And there's just lots of opportunities. And so there's dual credit opportunities we're also looking for through this Mill Levy as well, to help that pathway for high school students, where hopefully it'll encourage them to stay in school and to be able to pursue additional programming, and then go out and benefit society and benefit from their training.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to speak to the Mill Levy for a sec. I grew up South Texas, poor. I mean, it was rice and beans, and when you grow up in that kind of mindset, and there's no shame in that at all, but when you grow up in that mindset, you grow up with a lack mentality, and anytime you find out that anything is gonna cost more money, a bag of rice, a bag of beans, something to drink, clothes for school supplies. I mean, any little thing, you pucker up, man, because it's like, no, money, no, I don't want to spend more money. And it wasn't until years later that I began to understand the value of investing in myself through education. And it was hard for me to shift out of that mindset about, like, well, sometimes you have to make sacrifices and put a little bit into education, but because in the end it's going to come back to you. And so I would just say to the citizens of the community, at some level, a Mill Levy represents a little bit more of a sacrifice. Like, there's a little bit of financial that's going to have to come out, and no one thinks that's anything small. But I would just encourage community members to think of it as, this is an investment. It's an investment in our community. It's an investment in ourselves, and it's an investment in our children. So even if you're at a stage where you're thinking, I don't want more taxes to fund a bigger college. Like, I'm 48 years old. What do I care? Well, what about your children? Well, what about your grandchildren? We've got to think long term. And it took me years to kind of wrap my brain around it. But once I finally did, I was able to appreciate the value of we'll call it delayed gratification, right? And so anyway, all of that is to say, I love that the university and the college is thinking long term, that you have a vision for growth, and I just pray that the community members see the vision and come forward to support.
Well, and it goes along with an idea that a friend of ours and a friend of the campus's talked with me about. We were at a conference a couple of years ago, and the focus of the conference was getting past a livable wage and looking at generational wealth.
Yeah.
And she explained to me that generational wealth doesn't have to be an NFL contract.
Wow, yeah.
It could be something as much as owning a car or owning a house.
Absolutely.
And what the power of that is to the individual and to the family. And that's what I see the career and technical education programming, helping that individual, helping the family, and then from there the family can grow and it benefits the community overall.
Right.
And so it's a multi-level approach, and we understand that there's lots of questions about mill levies and pushing up taxes. and we're going to host several dinners, and we're getting word out to everyone in Chavez County, hoping they're going to be able to come to our presentations and to learn more about why we're looking to increase career and technical education programming and why we're asking for this mill levy. It's really to meet the needs of that individual, their family, and also the community.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Kudos to y'all for moving in that direction.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the conversation. Any closing thoughts this afternoon?
Well, I just want to say that I'm truly grateful to be here, and thank you for the invitation. As I've said in other conversations we've had, being here in Roswell, it just resonates with my soul. This feels like the lower Rio Grande Valley to me. It feels like I'm back home. The Latino population, the food, the heat, all of it just takes me right back. And, as we walk the campus, classes haven't started yet, but I don't know, what was it, 30 years ago? Yeah, about 30 years ago, I was that student, man, showing up on a campus. My first experience on a college campus was a panic attack because I had no idea what I was doing there. I was so scared. But I just had people that took me in. And so thank you for all that you're doing and for the way that your faculty and staff are embracing the student population and nurturing them into the next level of success. I love it.
Well, thank you again for being with us, and we'll be getting more information out to you as we move forward into the fall semester. Thank you.